All right, Tim Legler on board to either lay praise or scold players as is necessary. That one, the Bucks and Clippers, went right down to the wire. What'd you make of the Bucks' final possession?
Yeah, let's lay some praise because I love what they did at the end of the game. And it's, to me, their Achilles is how they close out games because Giannis does have some limitations. So if you put him in certain spots offensively to make the game a little bit easier for him, it puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense. And I thought the biggest possession of the game, I love what they drew up because they approached it a little bit differently. Let's get Giannis the ball at 15 feet. He's got a live dribble here. So one dribble, he can be at the rim. But now let's run some action. Great back screen right here. Drew Holiday makes a great read. Rather than force that layup, when he kicks this out, it starts a chain of events. They start moving the ball around the perimeter. And then this last part, Giannis gobbles up that space on that last swing pass. So he's already moving into the gap before that ball is swung, rather than just what most guys in the league will do now is just stand there, wait, catch it at the three-point line, and take that shot. I love the fact that he played to his strengths, but none of that really is possible if you give the ball to Giannis in the middle of the floor and let him ISO and try to attack. That is what they do a lot at the end of games. This was a much better way to go about it because it put an awful lot of pressure on the Clippers to try to get their rotations down perfectly. The Bucks move the ball, and they get a win. This felt like a playoff game, the way that these two teams defended, and Milwaukee executed down the stretch to get a huge win against the Clippers.
Tim, February has come to a conclusion. Jamal Crawford is still available. Besides that, what else stands out to you about this month?
It's got to be the Utah Jazz. I think coming into this season, we all knew the Lakers are prohibitive favorites. We knew the Clippers were legit. You looked at a team like Milwaukee coming back from what they've done the last 2 years. So what's the one team that sort of snuck up on us a little bit here at the start? And what happened in February, Kenny, they went from being a good story and a good start to a legitimate contender. Because this is a team that can beat you multiple ways. They can beat you defending, and they can also beat you because they flat out will shoot you out of the building. This is as good an offensive display as you're going to see when you talk about moving the ball and shooting it from the three-point line. Making 17 threes a night. It comes from a variety of places. Great chemistry, great unselfishness, exceptionally well coached, and they play both ends of the floor. So I think Utah thrusting themselves into the contender status, for me, that's the big story coming out of February.
Tim Legler, a world map behind him, a world of basketball knowledge to share with us. Good to work with you once more.
The TV in Salt Lake City, you stick around because we got to talk Pacers and Celtics coming up. Speaking of reporters right now, let's listen in.
Just trying to do whatever it takes to help us get off this losing streak, and but that's always been my game. To be able to play both ends of the floor, hold myself accountable, and be there for my teammates. And tonight was an instance where I was able to, get some steals, get some blocks. Took a couple charges, and just trying to, be the voice and also act on action as well on the defensive end.
You guys had a certain game plan that worked pretty well against Dame in the playoffs last year. It seemed like you employed it, especially in the second half tonight. What's the key there for you and the bigs coming up to help in the guards, and how did the guards do with Shooter and Caruso specifically? And KCP, should say.
Well, you have to, because Dame has, Dame has unlimited range. So you have to be up on screens. Once he crosses half court, he is in his range. So you have to have everybody up the floor, the guy that's guarding them and the guy that's guarding the pick and roll. It's going to be double drags. It's going to be single drags. There's going to be a lot of things that's going on in early transition. And when you're not, a couple instances tonight, he made us pay for it, coming off and letting it go. And when we got it right, we was able to execute it, to the best of our ability.
Dave? LeBron, to go away from the court for a second. Zlatan, the soccer player, said that he believes that famous people and athletes such as yourself shouldn't use their platform to do anything other than what they're good at in their athletic endeavor. As someone who has promoted the idea of more than an athlete and trying to empower on their communities, do you have any response to what he said?
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, because at the end of the day, I would never shut up about things that's wrong. I preach about my people, and I preach about equality, social injustice, racism, systematic voting, voter suppression, things that go on in our community because I was a part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on. And I know what's going on still, because I have a group of 300 plus kids at my school that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. I'm their voice, and I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community, but around this country and around the world. So, if there's no reason, well, no, I won't say no reason, but there's no way I will ever just stick to sports, because I understand how, how this platform and how powerful my voice is. And he can just ask Renee Montgomery, if I would have shut up and just dribbled. Seeing that beautiful Black woman today, be a part of a group where she's part of an ownership group now with the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta. And it's funny he say that, because I believe in like 2018, he was the same guy who said when he was back in Sweden, talking about the same things, because his last name wasn't a certain last name, that he felt like it was some racism going on when he was out on the pitch. Right? He did say that, right? Yeah, I thought he said that. So I speak from a very educated mind. I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at, because I do my homework.
Dan?
Well, I can't ask you about anything else now. So, I'm along those lines. Like, when you look around this league and you see a new generation of players, not growing into their voices, but like coming to the league with them, having them, I'm curious, how does that make you feel? And are there any players in particular whose leadership at a young age really speaks to you?
Well, one, it makes me feel proud to be a part of a generation where our voices are heard and guys are speaking from an educated, mindset. But more importantly, they speak from, I think when you speak from your heart, it rings bells even louder. And we got, a lot of guys that are speaking from the heart that didn't believe they had a voice at one point in time, or, now they're coming into it and they see that they can have a voice and that their voice really matters. So that makes me proud. And you see, guys like, Jaylen Brown, who's very, obviously he's educated beyond his years. And I love what he stands for in our league. And you see Pat Mahomes, also a younger guy, and Alvin Kamara, and, in the NFL, and those guys speaking about things. They're young, but they speak about things that, they feel like is unjust as well in their communities and whatever that's going on in the whole grand scheme of things. So, as athletes, obviously, we've been heard this for a long time to just you should be privileged. You should be, you should be thankful, to be able to dribble a ball or run a football or be able to do the 100-yard dash or be able to, swing a baseball bat and things of that nature. You shouldn't be able to speak about anything else, no matter if it's right or wrong. You should just do that. But that's not the case. It won't be the case for a long time.
Time for more, Kyle Goon.
Hey, LeBron. Just on the game tonight, I was wondering if you could speak to the impact of Dennis, but also just how much more fun do you guys have when you guys are playing connected that way and a little bit closer to being whole as a team?
Well,